right. Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Russ, and I'm here with...
Will Sarnov.
And what did you do?
Got second place at the Catskill Regional.
Hell yeah. All right, brother. You want to get right into it?
Yes, sir.
All right, I don't even think we need to say what you played, because I can see her already.
Let's play Marincess.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
let's go through the engine.
Pretty standard.
There she is.
3 blue tank, 3 pass.
Yep.
3 seahorse.
Oh, yeah.
3 spring girl.
Yep.
This is a little less standard, but 2 mandarin.
Word.
1 Basalima, 1 Sleepy Maiden. So,
yeah, talk about that.
This Basalima could be another Mandarin, but so for people that don't know what this does, it's basically Balinks in the grave, so you can banish it to protect your monsters from card destruction. So it's good to send off your blue tang if you think your opponent's going to interact with you with destruction. You can just, and honestly, nobody reads this card because it's like a very unknown card. Nobody reads any of these cards.
Right, true.
Send this, and then you can protect, so that's good.
Okay.
And Sleepy Maiden.
Did it come up at all? The Vaseline to protect?
Yes, came up multiple times. Came
Nice.
against Lab, and then it also came up against Fire King.
Nice. Try Skyburn, you say absolutely not?
Yep. And Sleepy Maiden is just like additional extender. It specials from hand, but there are some hands where you need to search in another extender for dive. So this helps you get a spell and trap negate if you can't get to Battle Ocean.
Nice.
So this is the...
did you brick on any of like the mandarins or anything like that? Like, do you think that did you have enough names or too many names or?
No, I think you need to play at least a minimum of 15 normal summable Marincess monsters to like, draw playable. Otherwise, like you get into this chance of like bricking, which you know this deck shouldn't brick ever. So you really don't ever want to brick. 1 Silent Sea Nettle. So
nice.
My old list we're playing 2. I like this card because it's like just an additional free water extender. It's level 4, so it helps you make your Bahama plays, your Kragan plays. Also, it has a crazy effect in the grave where it just lets you shuffle back 3 extra deck monsters.
Sure does.
Any water monsters, but you're usually just shuffling back extra deck monsters.
Yeah.
So, you know, your grind game is just, you know, infinite.
That's one thing, right? I noticed when I'm playing Marincess is like, or if I'm playing against it, like the extra deck gets low quick, right?
Yeah.
So like, sometimes like did you need this to guarantee follow up?
No, you don't need it because like if you're playing correctly, you can use your blue slugs to bring back your extra deck. You can use your mono rocks to bring your extra deck. Even like using the anemone grave effect to bring back your extra deck. So you don't necessarily need it, but it does help in some situations where like you need to OTK and you need like 3 specific monsters to go into to OTK. So it helps, and you can like use this to shuffle back your Bahamut Toad package. So you just make it again.
Yeah.
So that's the monsters, the engine monsters. We have the Marincess Trap.
Of course.
This is basically the entire deck. I mean, you're always trying to get this, even if you don't get a Link 4. You don't care. You just go for this because this basically says you can't kill me, and then I just beat you on your next turn. So you're always trying to go for this. You're always trying to get this. This is your entire deck. 1 Battle Ocean, 2 dive.
Yep.
I think this is pretty standard ratio. I've seen people play 3 dive. I've seen people play 1 dive, but I think 2 dive is fine. Sometimes you need to search another one on the follow-up turn. It's okay to draw. You really want to draw non-engine instead of this going second, but it's okay to draw. And then we go into the non-engine. Reason to play this deck.
Oh yeah.
3 Ash, 3 Nib, 3 Imperm, 3 Veiler, 2 Droplets, 2 Talons.
Oh my god, look at him go.
1 Thrust, 1 Monster Reborn, 1 Call By.
Nice.
I think every card here I used in the tournament, every card was great. Main deck Nib was amazing because I thought in this format no one was going to respect Nib, which they didn't. And Nib just was great against the Manadian players.
But you think that got there and was like fine to play over Droll?
Yeah, I sided in Droll.
Yeah, I figured we might get there, but...
But yeah, I think just because I felt like so many people were talking about how Nib wasn't good,
True.
there were people not going to respect Nib, which they didn't, so it ended up being good. You know, Nib's a weird card. It's like format to format, tournament to tournament. It's like, you know, whether you think people are going to respect it or not.
It's true.
Call By was great. I didn't even use it for hitting hand traps or anything. It was just like hitting second copies of cards.
Yeah,
or
being a
just,
trap
like,
card.
Yeah, it came up. Thrust is in here just to be a second copy of Monster Reborn or Wave. If you get drolled like in weird hands where your droll does hurt you, you can just thrust into Wave, which is, you know, basically, like I said, your whole deck. That's what you're trying to do. Yeah, and Monster Reborn, I'm never cutting. This card is amazing. You get nibbed, you bring back your Link 4, your Link 3, whatever, follow-up, extension. Literally, I think this is like the MVP of this deck. This card's crazy.
That's awesome.
So that's
the OG.
The main deck. Going to
nice. How many cards is the main deck?
40 cards.
40 cards. Clean 40. You love to see it.
extra deck, 1 Kraken. This card out of the extra deck, I think, was my MVP yesterday.
That's crazy.
It's
a crazy card. It's a crazy card. Yeah.
And not even because I play Gozen, because I didn't. It pops a card, does damage in time. It makes all monsters in the field water, so you can like link away a Nib token because now it's water, so you can link it into your link monsters.
True.
It does so much random stuff that makes it good. You can pop a huge Nib token with it too, do damage.
So the pop's non-targeting as well?
Yep, non-targeting pop.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Toad package.
Yep.
I think this is pretty standard for this deck at this point.
Sure.
And then the rest of the extra deck is pretty standard. 2 Blue Slug, 2 Sea Angel, 2 Anemone, 1 Marble Rock, 1 Triangle, 1 Bubble Reef, 1 Argonaut, Iria, and Zelantis. Zelantis is a crazy card. You just waterlock your opponent, banish their whole field. Awesome.
Yep.
The amount of people that didn't believe me and had to call a judge was crazy.
Yeah, really? People still don't know that interaction?
Still don't know, bro.
That's crazy. It's
They're
been like,
oh, my monsters come back, right? And I was like, no, they don't. I was like, but it says they come back. I was like, yeah, but I'm doing summoning.
Yeah,
but
I am summoning and I am waterlocked and you get nothing. Yeah, that's crazy.
You would think people would know it by now, but they don't.
That's wild. Hey, man, look, that's just the state of the. If that's the state of the game, then that's you're rewarded for that. That's awesome. Hell yeah.
Extra deck.
Yeah.
Do side deck. 3 Cosmic, 3 Droll, 3 Crow.
Yeah.
3 Bell, and then thrust targets, Storm and Harpies. And then I sided the Dweller.
Okay.
I could have main decked it, but I kind of wanted Kraken in there, just because like not every matchup loses to Dweller. I sided this in actually only once because I only played 1 Fire King. I actually never summoned it. So.
What did you swap out? The Kraken?
Yeah, the Kraken.
Okay, so that makes sense for Fire
For the
King.
decks, yeah. For the decks that like float, Kraken really isn't going to help me, so I'd rather just have Dweller in there.
Cool. Yeah, no, that sounds good. And I guess all the rest of this is pretty. Yeah, I would actually just agree with the rest of your side deck. So.
Yeah.
Looks very good. Did you feel like Harpy's Feather? Did Harpy's Feather Duster come up for you at all?
I sided it in. I didn't see it.
Okay.
I did see Storm, which did come up.
Okay.
But the Storm really was just a hit, like double imperm someone set. So that's really what I used it for. But
sure.
Yeah, the rest of these came up a lot. I mean, Droll for Vanadium.
Yeah.
Cosmic, I just found myself siding going first more than going second.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It acts like almost like a second Ash on a field spell. Like, against Vanadium, you just hit their field spell. It's like another Ash. So yeah, everything came up. Bell was great. Bell came up every time against Lab and Fire King.
Nice.
Yeah, I think the side deck was perfect. I mean, realistically, these 3 cards could be whatever you want. But I think the rest of it.
Yeah, it probably sticks. Cool. You want to talk about your matchups?
Yeah. So round 1, I played Exo Sister. Not the best matchup in this deck because they play Shifter, but we got there with the hand traps. I was able to just basically out hand trap them, and then the deck just is 1 card combos. So it's pretty straightforward on Exo Sister. Nothing crazy. It was, round 2, I played Sharks. That was funny. The guy was trying to do water barrier statue locks.
Yeah.
So
did he have like the armored XYZ
yeah,
stuff?
Armored XYZ, and
Okay.
Marincess is basically Sharks but better. I think.
As a former Sharks player,
yeah, as a former
you
Sharks
should qualify
player.
yourself.
Yeah.
I feel like it's important.
Yeah,
It's important.
I did play Sharks
Yeah.
a while back. I haven't played with the new support, but I just think as a water deck, Marincess just outgrinds it and just has more tools at its disposal.
Which is obviously the best Cybers deck right now.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah. 100%.
Next matchup was against Altergeist. I just hand trapped them like it was so quick. Game 1, I hand trapped them. They passed, just literally 1 hand trap. I think I just Veilered them. I don't remember which monster. And then they passed. I set up my board. They couldn't play through it. Game 2, same thing. I just Veilered the first monster effect. They just passed, and then I set up my board and won. I had no idea that it lost the hand trap so much, but apparently it does.
That's a leaked secret tech. Sorry, Geist players.
Round 4 was against Vanadium. Lost the dice roll. Game 1, I didn't have any hand traps. So you just set up a Vanadium board. I couldn't play through that.
Yeah. Did you blind scoop or did you show him a card?
I did try to play through it because I felt like I could have if I sequenced it correctly, but I misplayed slightly. I sequenced my cards correctly, like my plays. So he won that game. And then game 2, I set up Toad, Argonaut. The trap in hand with Ash and Veiler, so I just wasn't losing that game. I had so many interruptions, and then game 3 I just rolled him, so he just Yeah.
Yeah. Good night. Good night, sir.
Rolled
Prince.
him, he passed, and then I set up my board and won that. Round 5 was Fire King. Fire King won the dice roll, but I was able to, draw my non-engine, like the Ashes, the Imperms, the Veilers. So I just basically didn't really let him set up any kind of board. And then game 2, he went first again. I didn't really draw that much non-engine. And then, I think I drew just Veiler, which wasn't enough. I just Veilered the Ponyx, but he was able to play through that. And then game 3, I drew, I think it was Ash, Veiler, Imperm, and Bell with a blue Tang. So
Wow.
he just wasn't playing, and I had, the best starter in the deck, which is blue Tang.
But custom Kevin Lopez hand.
And so I was able to pick that one up. Round 6 was versus Lab. I was able to set up the Argonaut Toad board with the wave in hand and an Ash, and he used double furnitures on my turn to set up Welcome, Big Welcome. I was able to basically Ash the Welcome so he doesn't get the Lovely on board, so then I can't interact with my Argonaut and my Toad. And then I just Toad negated the Big Welcome, so he had a transaction rollback in Grave, so he couldn't transaction roll back.
Yeah, you just said it. Yeah, you definitely take that.
He had a pass. I just basically OTK'd him the next turn, and then the next game he drew like Double Judgment, Castir Fenrir, Ariane, the pink labyrinth monster, and I think it was Ash. So really, he basically bricked, but Double Judgment Fenrir would get you there.
Sure.
But I drew double Cosmic, so I just Cosmic'd his 2
So
judgments,
nasty.
and then basically just played for free. One Fenrir could get you there, but I was able to play through the Fenrir. And,
Yeah, I feel like if your hand is weak, right? But yeah.
So I was able to play through that. So I got that against Lab. Round 7 was Vanadium. We both got deck checked and both got a game 1 loss against in round 7.
Oh no, what'd you
do?
do?
We both had cards in our deck boxes that were apparently not in our deck box, which they weren't. I had a Kuklok in my deck box that I thought I took out the night before, which I didn't. He had his entry packs in his deck box. So both got a game 1 loss. Had to go automatic game 3, sudden death. We had a reroll for dice roll. I actually lost the original dice roll, so we re-rolled. I won the game 3 dice roll and went first, and that was against Vanadium. So it was really nice, no side re-roll going first now against Vanadium. So I was just able to set up the full board with Argonaut Toad and the trap. I drew enough gas for it, and then he just couldn't play through that. I think we grinded for 2 turns. And then I just was able to outgrind him because the deck just outgrinds.
Yeah, they just keep coming.
Next round was against Cash. I lost a dice roll to Cash. He set up basic Cashtira board with Birth, Fenrir, Shang, and Unicorn. He unicorned I had to play into the Unicorn on my turn. He unicorned my Zelantis, so that's really my only play to
So he knew what it did.
Yeah.
That guy knew what it did.
Yeah. He definitely knew what he
Okay.
did. So he unicorned my Zelantis, and I just didn't have enough gas to really do anything, so I had to scoop. It was unfortunate because I really wanted to win that game because he didn't draw Shifter. Games they don't draw Shifter, you really need to win.
Sure.
But I couldn't win that game. And then game 2, he just drew Shifter. He shifted me. I drew the hand that lets me make Kragan. So I just made a Kragan and had an Imperm, so I was hoping that would be enough. But he also drew Raigeki on top of the Shifter.
Oh.
So he just Raigeki'd my Kragan. I Impermed his Unicorn, but he had enough gas to play through that. He had Birth, Fenrir, and Theosis in his hand, so he just summoned 4 big bodies, attack for game.
Yeah, it must be nice.
Yeah, it must be nice.
So that's your first loss?
That was the first
So you
loss.
went 7-0
Yep.
lost round 8. Okay, that's that's really good.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then round 9 was against Vanadium again. So 3 Vanadium players. It was crazy. I did not expect to see 3 Vanadium players. The guy, I don't know, he must have not gotten nibbed all day or whatever, but he did not respect nib at all. Game 1, he just played super hard into nib. He was on his 8th summon before he got into a Baron play.
Whoa.
And I just, nibbed him before he got there. He had a pass. I set up a full board. And then he couldn't play through that. Game 2, again, I don't know why he played into nib, but he played into nib again. It was and I drew double nib this time.
Wow. Couldn't possibly have had a second one.
Yeah. So I nibbed him. I nibbed him the first time I played into it again. But he had a double imperm ash, so I couldn't set up like the craziest board on my turn. I was able to set up enough to get to the trap, the Marincess trap, and then I went back to him, and he played into nib again. So I nibbed him again for the second time. So he got nibbed three times in 2 games. And yeah, after that second nib, I just had infinite follow up in my grave. I just
yeah. Shouts out to that guy.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like 9 rounds. Like, I guess I don't know. But
shout us out in the comments. You got nibbed 3 times in 2 games.
Yeah, so yeah, that was my last round. So I ended up going 8-1.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, congratulations. You want to do any shout outs before we close it out?
Shout out to Russ for making this deck profile.
Hell yeah.
Shout out to the IHC crew.
Hell yeah.
IHC. Shout out to Jim for getting 6th place.
There he is.
Yeah, shout out to everyone I rode with yesterday, and yeah.
Hell yeah, man. All right.
Shout out to anyone who bullied you off lab.
True.
Thank God I didn't play lab.
True. All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you so
you
much,
guys.
dude. Congrats again. Peace.
Thank you.